In this final video, we're going to show you how to do query, but first, let's show you how to do import range. You're going to select the cell above where you want your range to be imported, equals, import, and then you're going to select the URL. Because I already have my URL pasted in this sheet, I can just select the cell that the URL lives in, which is D1, and then I will put a comma, and then I need to select my range string. So that is going to be the name of the tab where the data is coming from, and then the range, the cell range for that data. And you want to make sure you put your exclamation points to lock that data in. And then we're going to encapsulate the name of the tab in quotation marks, and then our range of data with our exclamation points, and we're going to close it all off with a ending parentheses. Once we press enter, you're going to see that I get a reference, I get an error. So when I click on this, it says, hey, you need to grant permission from that sheet into this sheet. So I already have permission from the sheet that I'm importing, but I need to give that sheet permission to access my sheet. So that's what you're doing right there. And now here's our import range. So let's do a quick review. Import range allows you to pull any data from anywhere into your spreadsheet. You cannot edit the original data, and you have to give permission to access both ways. So the sheet that you're pulling from must have given you some type of permission, and you must give that data permission to access your sheet. So the permission work both ways. And there also is a limit on data size. So if you're pulling in a sizable amount of data, it is possible for it to be too large. So just be careful with that. So if I select here, I can actually go take a look at the range that I imported. So this is the full spreadsheet that's about to open. And then if you look down at the bottom, these are all of the individual tabs. So we pulled from the country data, but I've also could have chosen movie data, album data, expenses, etc. So query can get super complex, but we're going to keep it really simple. Basically, what I want you to understand is that structured query language is the kind of programming or the process that allows us to take information from these larger sources and do something with it. So instead of using our filters and all of our other things, we can actually use a query to do something similar. And this is especially relevant for really, really, really large amounts of data. So within our query, we can do some basic analyzing. So that's what we're going to do today. You can sum, count, min, max, all the things that we've done before, but you actually build that into our query. So in this example, we're actually pulling the query from the import range that we did in the other tab. So we're starting with the basic function, which is equals query, and we're going to select our tab over on the side, which is our import range of data. We're going to select all columns. We don't need a from, and then we're going to select -1. So this is going to show us all of our columns, and it's also going to introduce our header. That's what the -1 stands for, and press enter. So really we're importing a range that we've already imported, and we're showcasing the headers just to kind of keep it super simple at first. All right, here is what we have pulled using our first example of query. Now we're going to move on to a little bit more complicated version. So in this section, I've got a couple of different examples I'm going to show you. The first one, we're going to do a query and we're going to import, I know it says country list, but it's actually going to be region list. So we're going to copy and paste our data from our function from before. Might as well reuse that same data since it's relevant. And then we're going to change our qualifier. What are we looking for? So we're still going to select all columns. That's what the select asterisk around the quotations looks like. But we're going to add an action item. Like, what do we want the information to do for us? So we went to order, and then we're going to put by, and then the column number, A, B, C, D, going down the list. Which one do we want it ordered by? And order by is automatically going to put it in alphabetical order, and we want to order it by column D. Remember, this is the original data, not the columns that we are currently showing. So we're going to change this to order by D and press enter. Again, it's going to show us our headers, and here we go. So here's our query, and it's put us in an order. So not only have we imported data, but we've also organized data without having to use any of our filters that we've previously tried. So let's scroll through some of these and try another one. Let's see, for this next example, I want to show the list of countries that only have foods in the foods column. So we're going to do where H is not null as our like quantifier. So we're looking at the same data, but now we're removing anything that doesn't have foods listed in that column. So where H is not null, just that little simple string, and we were able to pull this data really quickly. So let's review query syntax. You start with your data string, then what are you wanting, and then whether or not you want headers. One final example, we are going to order our list in reverse alphabetical order. So I'm going to show you how to do that. If you're interested in learning more about what kind of commands you can use in this space, Google has an exhaustive list. It's definitely kind of another level language to learn, but it's super powerful and you can do a lot with it. So for this one, order B by descending, and here we go, countries in descending order.